Hi all. Right, moving on with the next Allied Impulse. Nothing terribly exciting here with my last two cards, probably. I mean, I still thought about it again, about activating the core and having attack, let's say at 3, 6, 9, 11 against 3. 3 to 1 odds, 1, 2, 3. It's only 4 chip pools. I have a reinforced battle, which was my other card, but I can't. There's nothing that can reach. This guy's got a break zone of control, so 1, 2, 3. This guy would have to come through the forest, so there's nothing there that can reach it, unfortunately. So 3 to 1 odds with 4 chip pools. I don't know. I suppose it's kind of tempting, but he's got armour. We're just infantry this time. So what I think I'd rather do is I can assign 2 replacement points. I've got a damage unit here, and I've got a damage unit here. They're both elite units. Now, I know it cropped up before, and I think I was asking questions regarding. I do have another unit. In fact, no, these 2 units in here are 18 core. They're both reduced and they're both non-elite. But because they're isolated, I can't replace points on them. So it did seem like, well, if that's the case, you shouldn't have to be forced to, the whole restriction about allied elite replacements. You've got to repair line and green units first before any elites. Well, I can't repair them, so I think it was pretty well commented that, yeah, you can do this. So I think I'll do that. I think I'll just assign 2 replacement points, 1 to here. Yeah, you just bounce back for a 2 to a 3. Is this the same with this guy as well then? Quite possibly. Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. It doesn't seem the best use of the card really, but I think making the attack, it's not really that important to try and make an attack here right now. If I had support with artillery or something, maybe it might have been more worthy. Yeah. Okay, so let's just go with that. So I've got the last card I've got in my hand is this, and unfortunately I was only thinking about assigning replacement points as well. I've got 2 damage units I could replace. I mean, we're in it for the long game, unfortunately. I'd like to close this game out quicker, and I could just bring things to a close and say, well, we've stopped the German onslaught, and it's more than likely we're going to be able to drag things out for a strategic win, hopefully. If not, an operational win, you would think, but so yeah, okay. But I'd like to finish the game rather than just pack it in. I've went this far. Kharkov's not here yet anyway. Although I very much doubt. I'm not that sure I'm going to set up Kharkov when I eventually get it. And certainly there'll not be recordings of it as well. I don't know if that's. I could do with getting away from any match. And there's a few other games. I set up some. In fact, I've got. Not that this is relevant to your playthrough. I've got another John Butterfield game over there. I've got Space Core, isn't it? It's a Core. So it's a much lighter game. It's quite good fun, but try to set up a lighter game over there, and then so that I can get away from the heaviness from time to time. But I like the heavier games more, but you can only really be sitting playing one of them. The way I play it, anyway, you can only sit and play one, and then obviously it takes. Well, this is taking months, weeks, months, probably months. Yeah, I can't remember. The German solo must have took 2 or 3 months anyway, wasn't it? Something along the lines, and this is probably doing just the same. But I've got, I do have some other heavier games that I'd like to set up and try. What was I got? Is it Red Storm, the Air War one? But that looks really heavy as well. And then recently, not a war game, but I got High Frontier for All. My God, I was just looking over the rule book with that, and that's like, I don't like the way the rule book set it, to be honest. It's all a bit mixed up for me. Whether once you get down and start reading it and that, it might start sinking in. It's a game that it kind of appeals to me, but like I say, I like the heavy games where you've got a lot of thinking to do and working things out and that. Although I think there's a bit of maths in that game, so it might not suit me. Right, anyway, what am I going on about all that for? Right, let's go. So I've got 1 card left. Gemma's still got a few cards. So let's get an Ardennes and Impulsing. Right, see what we got for us now. 58th and 85th. Okay, so both primary cards, both got a value of 2. This is the lower selector number though, so it's going to go in the. These are the primary cards, so they're going to activate the core before they start assigning replacement points. So yeah, I'd be interested in, although we managed to destroy one of the 58 core units, which was good. Well, it was great actually. So no event. So activate all units in the 58 core. So that's going to look. Okay, I'm only seeing 3. Oh no, there's the other one there. He's just. Oh no, there's 2 of them there. Yeah. Okay. So there's 2 up here. That's on camera. Yeah. One of the infantry units, so the 560th. Now there's only 2 in that, isn't there? And the 116 Panzer units are both here, and this is the one we eliminated, the 4 strength one as well, which is good. So yeah. Okay, so this time we do have a unit that's got a roadblock adjacent to it, don't we? So that's going to get removed. Not organised there again. So yeah, so we activate the core and this robot's going to go away. Right. And then check the objective marker still in its last position, so it needs to be reached. So that's going to sit tight. Now, reserve units, no. Don't have any reserve units. The combat tactic is an infantry infiltration, unfortunately, for them. So, just needs to see if there's going to be some movement. Okay, first movement is movement method 7. Good old movement method 7 with movement is considered complete. Now we can do it all properly. Tilt the unit. This is only German infantry unit adjacent to both these allied units, so its movement is considered complete. These are also adjacent to this 5 strength and this VP hex, so they can't really move away anyway. So it's unlikely that armoured unit's going to be allowed to move away as well. Probably just sit there too. Okay, I'll move on. Okay, on to 10 to 13. This is selector number 2. This is a guy that we had thought was going to go and reinforce the battle and that down beside Bastogne, but realised that he was going to open supply issues to La Roche. So we're going to have to be careful about how we move him, if at all. So arrows would be. I don't think you can do this anyway. 1, 2, 3. So there is a secondary arrow that goes 1, and that would be 2 into there and stop him as well, wouldn't it? There's a nonsense where there's a secondary arrow going back, but I don't know, you go 1, 2. You can't do all that nonsense. Right. I got distracted there. I was talking about these 2 secondary arrows pointing at each other. I mean, I think you've got to kind of ignore that, haven't you? I mean, because technically I can't do 1, 2, 3. That finishes my movement. I can't do second arrow 1 and then follow primary arrow 2. That finishes my movement. I could go 1, then follow the second arrow back in there for 2, then go primary arrow 4, primary arrow 5. So I think going by the rules as written, you could do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, following arrows. However, it's going to leave La Roche. I think even when I'm there, well, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about reaching there. So La Roche, there would be alright actually. There would stop supply trace. But I'm talking about being there, so we can trace alley supply 1, 2, onto the road and then away. So you can go right up there anyway. Wouldn't mind your thoughts, guys, on arrow movements like that, going. I mean, because as the rules are written, I think it would allow you to do that. If there wasn't any issues with supply, I could have ended the unit in there. Whether that's a bad thing or not, I don't know. Anyway, okay, so he can't move the arrows. Can he move closer to his army objective then? Maybe. Well, he certainly can. This is 1 hex closer, and we've already said that if he was to move here, ally supply can't be traced to La Roche. So what that would do, so he's at least going to do that. Could he move to, would be closer, surely. Okay, I thought there was maybe some other movements he could make. I mean, we know he could go there. He could have maybe went there, and I say maybe because, well, no, actually he could. And that's the same distance, but it's going to be westernmost. But I started thinking he could get down here, which is the same distance, again slightly more west. But I've just realised that La Roche, we can trace down, we can go 1, 2, and then 3 onto here. So we don't need to follow this road. We can go 3 onto here, cross this allied bridge, and then back across the bridge there and away. And remember, we can trace through detachments when we're tracing allied supply at that time. So that wouldn't be illegal. So is that one okay? Did we say 1? Yeah, because there's no gap here, is there? Yeah, so we could go here or here, and this one's slightly more west. And I mean, he can't get up. Well, I don't think he's got the movement to get up here, but that would open supply issues as well. Okay, so I think I'm going to put him into there. Move a detachment there. He's also moving adjacent to an allied unit, which, well, no, there's not a 3-1 advantage, but it's 1 hex closer to his army objective. And there's no supply issues to La Roche there. Well, let's just go with that. I'll have a look back later, see. Okay, so Unit 3 is here, unlikely to be making a move at all, I think. Can't move the arrows. No, he's not going to get closer. It's 2 to break away. Yeah, no, he's going to stay put. Okay, sorry, I got another phone call there, cut me off. Yeah, so that unit's staying put. So we're on to unit number 4. This is infantry. Up beside Manhay here. So Manhay's not got any issues, I don't think. I don't believe. So he should be able to move with arrows then, you would think. So primary into here, primary with a 5 into here. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then 1 extending and 2 extending into Houghton then. Yeah, I don't think there's any problems with that. So leaving a few detachments behind. 1, 2, 3, 1, and then ending up in Houghton. So detachment with there, and there. There, that's where I'm left. So yeah, 3 movement, 2 extended movement. He hasn't finished adjacent. He's not broke anything there. Yeah. Okay. And then, well, the last unit is going to be unit 5. Is it on camera? Yeah. And again, he's restricted to move away from that VP hex because it's only got 5 strength. So unless it was reaching another hex, which it's not going to be able to do. So yes, I believe he's going to stay put. Okay. Okay, I suppose there's a few checks to look at. Yeah, one of these might actually. So this is going to be the first unit, selector number 2. Checking here, this guy's in a clear hex actually. Think about that. So he'd be the lead unit, making a check here, getting support for here. Now again, just to confirm, there's no assault coordination and there's no reserve units. So, but this guy would support the attack, so that'd be 6 against 3. Now he's in a clear hex, so he gets a -1, so that's 6 against 2, but he's also adjacent to a supplied allied unit, so that bounces back to 6 against 3. But that is 2 to 1 odds. So yeah, 2 to 1 odds, modifiers. Oh, he's elite as well, so he's not getting that. Support card shows applicable tactic. Infantry infiltration. I need to remind myself, hang on. Yeah, well, what I was away looking for there was the mechanised infantry count for infantry infiltration. And it seems that it's different from the Allied solo to the German solo. The Allied solo infantry infiltration just says, well, attacker only if the defender is a non-town or city hex, which it is. The defender is considered flanked regardless of the number of hexes which the defender is being attacked. Furthermore, the attack is not considered a 1 hex attack, even if all attacking units are in 1 hex, and even if the defender is in a town city. So there's no mention of whether you need some infantry or mechanised infantry. So I just thought I'd have a glance at I've still got the German solo rules and player aids out, and infantry infiltration on the German solo for the Germans is attacker only. Play if attacking with at least 1 infantry or mechanised infantry unit, and then all the rest is the same. So I mean, it could well be that it's one of these bits that are slightly different, because remember, the Germans in this game are the AI, where the Germans in the German solo game were ourselves, so it makes it a little bit harder to achieve, possibly. if you did happen to. But then these are mechanised infantry units anyway. So okay, so what was I doing? Oh yeah, so it is an applicable combat tactic because it would mean that this unit was flanked, which it isn't at the moment. So that would get played. So that gives a -1. What the odds were 2-1, weren't they? 6-3. Yeah, because it was a -1 +1. Right. So 2-1 odds and a -1. Are we going to see that there? I'll zoom out a little bit, probably. Right. So 2-1 odds, -1. 10. Well, I think that's quite good for us, actually. I'm not sure I'd like that to attack to have gone ahead. So it's a 9 cancel if less than 3-1, so we've got away with that one. Okay, so moving on. Now, Unit 3, that was Unit 2. Unit 3 could still be considered as a lead unit. They can't check this unit again, obviously. They can check this, and this is 3 against 2, adjacent to supplied unit. So 1-1 odds, slightly less chance, I suppose. Combat tactic. Well, yeah, it is applicable, yeah, because he'd be attacking from 1 hex as well. But he's going to do the same thing, consider it flanked. It's not in a town. So 1-1 odds with a -1. Oh, we got a 1, so that's going to be a goal, isn't it? Interesting. Okay. Not so down to 0. What would a 1 have been actually? Cancel if only defender elite. That's not the case. Or only defender armor. That's not the case anyway. So a 1 would still win ahead as well. Righty then. So yeah, I'm not missing anything, I don't think. Okay, so this unit's going to attack. 3 against 2. We're going to draw a combat tactic. Oh, we get the activation. We get the 58 core again. Mind you, that would maybe have repaired units. However, right, what is it, Grant? It's infantry infiltration. So that means we're not going to use the support card then. Okay, that's fine. So we're not going to use the support card because it's a match. It's infantry infiltration as well. So that's going to stay put. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'll just look at. I've got a reinforced battle. I'm just trying to think ahead. So what the odds are 3-2. So the odds are, that is not 1.5 to 1. I don't think. So that's just 1-1. Chip pools are. There's only 1 unit, but he is elite. So that's 1, 2, and then 1 for the infantry infiltration. So 3 chip pools. Like I said, there's no point in the support card, there's no reserves. Okay. Now, do we want, well, can we play reinforced? But I don't think we can we? This guy, because it'd be 3 to move back into there. Although this one couldn't he? This one could do 1, 2. Oh no, because it's 2 strength, so I need to. Yeah, well, I can't use that as well. Because of the restriction, I need to bring something in that's 2 strength or less. I think they're both 3s. No, that matters. They can't reach, Grant. Okay, so I can't reinforce the battle then. Right, well, let's just go with what we've got. So 1-1 odds, 3 chip pools. Let's see what we get. Okay, so nothing doing. We got a great. This is the first chip. We got a Woods chip. So -1. Defender recon. It's got combat engineer in the back. None of that doing. He gets attacker elite to finish, but they just cancel each other out. So yeah, no hits. No hits at all. So gets rid of another card now. The Germans are, well, I think I've got it worked out right. I've got 1 more card left. They've got 3 in their draw pile, and they could possibly add another one with a combat tactic. Well, I suppose there is another chance of an attack. I think this is unlikely, isn't it? Okay, so that combat went ahead and nothing doing. So next would be, well, Unit 4 is not adjacent to an allied unit, so, but we have the units just outside Ufe. So we've got Unit 5 to check. They've got a strength of 4. So they're clearly going to be looking at this, I think. And that would be 5. Adjacent to supplied unit is 6. And that would be 3. Adjacent to supplied unit is 4. And in the forest is 5. Oh, they can't even do it, can they? It's 4 against 5, isn't it? 4 against 5. Yeah, that's. Okay, then no attack there then. Right, fair enough. That's going to be that. Just makes me think that armoured unit's now maybe going to bounce back, isn't he? Reserves. There we go. He's leaving 2 steps in the hex. You can trace reserve supply into there and away. Yeah. It's adjacent to an allied unit. It didn't come from reserves. He's leaving 2 steps in the hex, like we said. Yeah, so I think he's going to bounce back to the reserves as well. What's the units in the reserves now? Yeah, okay, so everyone done something. I thought they might have built an IP with that, but then obviously that unit's away now, so we can't do that. Okay, right, let's get this next impulse in, because I've still got the support card. Okay, so we're going to activate, what are these? Oh, I'm calling them the wrong thing, haven't I? That's 50. Oh no, it's not. 85th Corps, aye. No, that's right. Get my Roman numerals so muddled up. Okay, so activating them, yeah, they're just with the army objective. There's no roadblocks. The army objective's still not proximate. Still not proximate. So, okay, let's have a look. Okay, movement method 2, close to objective and next to VP hex. That's I never considered Unit 5. Hang on. Is it possible? Give me a sec. Yeah, no, Unit 5 can't. He can't get down. I mean, we've got VP Hex in the Ettelbrook, and you've also got Baston, but he's sort of in the middle of them. But just as well I had a look, because I didn't think 6 was doing anything. Well, he's not doing anything, but it's worthwhile talking about. He could actually. This would be 1 hex closer to his army objective, so he could go 1, 2, 3. But with the whole tactical adjustment thing, that would be an empty hex for him. So, and he can't move away from that VP hex because of the restriction. Well, I know we're trying to move adjacent to VP hexes, but just so that we know that he needs to be in a hex round about this. If he starts adjacent to a VP hex with strength 5 or less, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so it was Unit 7 that I did think would move. So he can go. Well, actually, he doesn't need to go out and in. This is not exerting zone of control here, isn't it? So he can move adjacent to here, and although yes, he could go, this is an empty hex. It's 1 hex closer to his army objective. It's adjacent to VP hex. He wants to pick the empty hex. Yeah, and there's not anything broken. This unit is still surrounded, for instance. Yeah. Okay, Unit 8. Ah, he's got a broken bridge in front of him, so probably not. Anyway, let me look. I'll come back to you. Okay, I almost thought Unit 8, although this bridge is broken, this bridge got repaired. You could actually go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into here, or 4, 5 into here. The adjacent. And then I was concerning myself with the west wall hex being supply traceable, and then I thought, well, I'll not be surely. But I am breaking surround on this guy by doing that. Yeah, as soon as I move away from that hex, that unit can actually move to here. So I don't think he can do that. Right, okay, moving on. It's a cool move. Something that's looking good for. I feel like the Germans have not been doing an awful lot recently. Movement method 6 for the infantry. Move active infantry units each to an empty Allied town hex or to an empty German town hex that its Allied supply can be traced. So I think he can get to Mersch. Now, I was concerned obviously about surround, but these units are surrounded, but they're still getting held with these two. So 1, 2, breaking zone of control, and then into Mersch. Good. So yeah, I think that's good. Move active infantry units each to an empty Allied town hex. No restrictions have been broken. So now that frees up. Remember we said once Mersch is taken, all these hexes along here now are unable to get Allied supplies, so this unit can move out of Konsdorf now without any fear. So that was cool. Okay, right, moving along. Okay, on to 10 to 13 now. Unit 2, you can't move away from this guy. Well, he's got to stay adjacent, so he can't move. Yeah, he's on his own. So I suppose an infiltrate move. If he was stacked somebody else, he actually might have done, because his infantry could infiltrate across the river. However, he's not stacked by anybody else, so he can't do that. Unit 3's been moved. Unit 5's up here. Okay, so possibly arrows then. Where is it? 7th comes down the way. Yeah, so it'll be 1, 2. Ooh. Oh, here's one of these fiddly ones again. So that's a primary with a 7. And that's a primary into there. And then we've got primary going back there, or a secondary with a 7. Well, you need to stick with primaries if you can, Grant. So, right, I'll come back to look at Wilts in a minute, just in case. I think it's okay, but so that would be 1, 2, 3, and then he could extend 1, 2. Yeah, there's something about that 7. It definitely looks like a smaller arrow to me. Well, it's a bit of a shame because I think it would it would make a bit more sense for to keep him going 1, 2, 3 into here, and then, well, actually there's no arrow, is there? So maybe that's why. I don't know why that secondary 7 arrow is there then, because I'd end up going 1, 2, 3 and then extend my move back into here and into here. So okay, I'm just gonna go sticking with the primary arrows. So I don't think there's issues with wilt. So 1, 2, 3, sticking primary arrows and then extending my move 1 and then 2 up the road there into here. Leaving a detachment in wilts. Yeah, like I say, there's no supply issues towards wilts yet as well. So yeah, I think that's okay. Right, moving on. Unit 6. Well, he's adjacent to this VP hex, so yeah, he needs to stay around a bit, so he can't move. 7 was there. Unit 8. Arrows. Well, that's a primary B, so he could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then that's doing. Actually, if he ended up there. Well, actually, if he ended up there, that would be okay, I think, because he's still keeping the guys surrounded. So he can't go primary, so he goes secondary for 1. Remember, this guy's bracketed, so no exit in zone of control. 1. This is primary by B. The bridge is good. 2 into there. Primary by B. The bridge is good. 3 into here. Primary is down here for 4. Oh. No, I needed to end them there. What have I done? Have I counted things wrong? I think I have, haven't I? Maybe I have counted 2 moving away from the unit. Give me a sec. Yeah, I don't think he can. I thought he was finishing his move in here, which would have still kept that guy surrounded. But his movement would take him into here for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's all on road, so. Okay, so he can't do that. Can he move closer to his army objective? Well, maybe he could just jump across the river, you would think. And like I say, this hex is okay. Yeah, so I think he can just come. Well, he can actually go up over the bridge, but if he ends up in that hex, he's 1 hex closer to his army objective, and this unit's still kept surrounded. Yeah, okay. Right, keep going. Oh, that's it. Is that the last one? Yes. Okay, let's. There was no reserves, and there was no support card. Yeah, this is a support card, if you like. So we'll check for any attacks. Where are we? Well, this unit's not relevant. These 3 around here, and this unit's not relevant. So it's unit selector number 2 we should be looking at first. So yeah, he can check here or here. They're both across the river, so this is going to be the better option, isn't it? Because this is 5 strength, and he's getting support from these 2 units, so this is going to be the better one. So a 5, 6, 7, 8 coming across the river is only 4, and then this is 3. So that's 7 against 4. 7 against 4. Yeah, he's not getting anything else. 7 against 4. That feels like a 1.5 to 1, doesn't it? Yeah, so 1.5 to 1. Modifiers, none there's are weak, so no, yeah, there's no modifiers, so it's just 1.5 to 1. I'll zoom out a bit. Dice rolling up. It's a 7, if you can't quite get it. There we go. So no modifiers. Cancel less than 3-1 or attacking from 1 hex. Yeah, so not gonna happen. So I think that's the only one to check, isn't it? The other units, or we'd only be able to check that. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot about this guy. Why did I forget about this guy? I looked at these or this, didn't I? I didn't consider this. Alright, hang on then. This would have been 7 halved. It would have been 3 against 2. He's adjacent to supplied unit, 3 against 3. He's in a forest, 3 against 4. So yeah, no. So we did do the right check. I did miss that one. So I suppose technically this would now check this and get the same situation, 3 against 7 half, 3 against 4, wasn't it? Yeah. So yeah, okay. Right, so no, there's no unit stacked together, so nothing bouncing back to reserves. This guy didn't make a move or anything though. These didn't, but they're in the town, so I think this guy could build an IP. There's no disperse stuff. Always good. I think that sample's done. Okay, so we'll have to finish up for now. We've got three cards left in the draw pile. We've got 1 card left, so probably not going to do an awful lot. Just repair some points again, I think. Right, better get off for now, guys. I'll tidy things up. Probably be able to put a couple of, well, 1 video out, maybe 2 now actually. I've put a few wee clips in here, so maybe we'll get 2 out. We'll see. But I'll be back with the last Allied Impulse of the day sometime soon. Okay, cheers.